treading path, you will face viciousness, violence, and perhaps other damnably transcendent terrors. Fear.
Darkest Dungeon is my first 2016 favourite. This dark gothic RPG finally passed from early access to full release at the start of this year. In it, you hire a band of hopeful adventurers, then watch them descend into the depths of disease, madness, and ultimately death or ruin. Missing that Christmas cheer already? Well, there might be a few bottles of mulled wine left on the supermarket discount shelf if you can run fast enough.
The lords will abandon their thrones. And the unkindled will rise.
Masochistic fans waited years for this sequel, and it didn't disappoint. The Dark Souls games are well known for their challenging gameplay and dark fantasy gothic settings. This third installment was a true return to form for the franchise, with its intricate interweaving environments and hordes of undead adversaries just waiting to kill you again and again and again. I promise it's fun, really.
Let's get to that. Where does it hurt?
Yes, this is also the year when Blizzard launched their long-awaited new IP, Overwatch, a first-person team shooter. The game was built on the skeleton of their abandoned massive multiplayer online RPG Titan, using many of the game's concepts and assets. For those who may have expected the result to be a regurgitated mess just designed at clawing back some money from a failed project, it must have been quite a surprise, because Overwatch was actually a well-designed and polished game. Even more surprisingly, the servers actually held up on launch day. I guess miracles do happen. Oh, Geralt, how can it have ended this year? Our time together was just too brief. I'm sorry, I need to go cry into my pillow now.
Oh, what the fudge? No, he's my friend.
If someone had said to me at the beginning of the year that a mobile game would be released that would have me dropping my glass of wine and dashing out my front door of an evening just to capture an in-game creature, I would have laughed in their face. But I found myself doing just that when the Lapras showed up on my doorstep one evening. Pokemon Go has had me and many others walking crazy distances over the summer, and while it does certainly have its issues, it still deserves a place on my list just for that feat alone. Wait, Snorlax!
No, she wouldn't.
Without the Horde, we'll be overrun! We must retreat!
Get everyone to the gunship.
Everyone, fall back!
So let's just say that the previous World of Warcraft expansion left me vowing never to buy another one. That just the name Warlords of Draenor still gives me nightmares of painful grinding through dull zones. Thankfully, being a masochist, I bought the Legion expansion when it came out anyway. Legion, at least for me, was far more enjoyable, and I'm not even sure why. Maybe it's the fact that most of the zones scale to any level over 98, so you can run them in different orders with different characters. Or maybe it's the class halls and the unique questline that comes with each. It's certainly not that the endgame is any less grindy, but hey ho, with WoW these days that's pretty much a given. Nevertheless, I enjoyed this expansion immensely. I might even buy the next one in 2 years' time. Who knows?
Are we there? Thought people were friendly outside the city.
You can only go so far on the kindness of strangers.
You're just gonna have to push her all the way.
I've already pushed myself to the brink of death.
Get up. Come on, car isn't gonna move itself.
Sheesh. I thought the car was supposed to move us.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Can it?
And finally, it's on to my most recent obsession, Final Fantasy 15. Such an unusual game. With a Swiss cheese plot, it should fail as a Final Fantasy title, and yet it kept me entertained for over 60 hours. It's the 4 main characters that make the game special, and the world in which they run around hunting monsters, which is a pleasure to explore, and of course there's chocobos. There are also some pretty epic battles, which do leave you feeling like a real badass, which isn't completely unwelcome either, really. Anyway, here's to 2017. May its games be just as good, and may there never be a dull gaming moment. Ah! There's a Lapras on my lawn!